This is amazing. All right. So, good afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome you guys to our success series presentation dealing with exam preparation, and we want to share with you some strategies that will help you to do your best on your exam. The title of this presentation is Ace That Test, is tips for exam preparation. My name is Cedric Shelby. I am the Supplemental Instruction Coordinator here on campus at UTA. And my position is to monitor and assess our supplemental instruction program so that we can do everything we can to help you guys be successful in your classes. And I'm going to give you a short presentation today because as you all are college students, exams are a very important part of your college life. So we want to do everything we can to help you do your best on your exams. First of all, you should receive a link to a Google Sheet. If you would please click on that link and type your name in for attendance purposes, so we can know who was here. And then if you are receiving credit for this, then we will be able to get that information to the designers of this program.
Cedric, I haven't gotten the link in the QA. Would you mind resending that?
Sure. I think I actually put it in the chat. Okay, my bad. QA.
Perfect.
All right. All right. So the first thing we need to do as we are kind of assessing your exam preparedness, getting ready for you to take your exams, we want to do a little activity, which is a learning strategies inventory. And we want to take a look at that so that we can see kind of where you are, assess your needs, and then try to give you some tools to help you progress forward with that. So I'm going to share with you guys um, the learning strategies inventory. It is a Word document, so if you just look at it, and I want you to answer the questions kind of on your own. There are 11 questions. So this inventory lists behaviors that you should exhibit in order to excel in this course. As you're looking at them, kind of answer them true, false, but you can write on your own paper. Besides, each of the following statements kind of describing the way you study. The scoring scale at the end will kind of, if you answer them truthfully, and please answer them truthfully, it will predict kind of what your grade will be in that course. And that way we can look at kind of where you are and how you feel you are, and then we will work on getting you to where you want to be. So I'll put, there are 11 questions, so I'm gonna put the first 9 on the screen here. And please answer these 9 true or false, and then we'll answer the other 2. And then we'll go on to the scoring scale, and we will discuss that as well. If you have questions about anything, please let me know. If I'm moving too fast, have me to stop, and I'll go back and go over whatever you need help with. Are there any questions so far pertaining to our presentation?
Heather mentioned that the document is in view-only mode, so we're just going to take attendance in the Q&A. So students, if you want to receive credit for this attending, please go ahead and post your 1000 number in the Q&A, and we will take attendance that way. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Thank you, Owen. All right, I'm going to go ahead and slide up a little bit. If I go too far, please let me know. I will definitely go back, and we want to make sure everyone is able to answer all questions so that we can get an accurate reading. And also, I want you guys to realize, there are no right or wrong answers. We're all different people, so we all learn and study in different ways. So, um, just be truthful and share with kind of what you do, and then we will definitely help you work through any issues you may be having. All right, is there anyone that has not passed question 4 yet? If so, please let us know. All right, so this brings us to our final question or statement. So, and once we get done with these, we will look at the rubric and we will be able to assess your exam preparedness. Also, remember, if you do have any questions, please post those in the Q&A, and we will get you an answer as quick as we can. All right, so hopefully at this time, everyone will have completed all 11 statements. And I'm going to pull up the kind of the scoring rubric. So you answer true or false for each of the 11 statements. Now, if you would count up the number of true responses you had to those statements, and here is kind of the scoring rubric for that. And depending on the number of true responses, it's not a definite science, but it's kind of a predicted what your grade will be. It says in that class, but actually on the particular exam that we're going to be talking about. So if your number of true responses are lower, then it shows that your grades could be possibly lower. But we will definitely give you some tools to get you up to where you want to be. And note that you can change your predicted grade at any point by simply changing some of the behaviors that you exhibit when it comes to preparing for your exam. So do we have anyone that would like to share kind of where they fail, and kind of maybe if you want to put into the Q&A kind of where you fail, and maybe some things that you would like to do better, please do so, and we will be able to answer those questions for you. Okay, so I'm going to assume that we don't have any questions.
No questions so far.
No questions. Okay, well that means hopefully that you guys are kind of at a place where you would want to be. But we're going to give you some tools to help you get even higher. All right. So moving back to our.
Heather did state in the chat here that she got a solid B. She's not good at student groups. Group work doesn't seem to be her forte.
Okay, well, very good, Heather. You know, a solid B. We'll take that as well. You know, we all kind of operate differently. So some people, you know, they flourish in that group setting, and some, you know, they have enough practice that they've been doing it on that it works better for them. So I mean, if that works well for you, definitely keep up the good behaviors. Um, if you want to try to add just some things in it, you know, to be experimental, that's fine. But if you have a designated um, task that works for you, then I would say definitely, you know, keep up with that. All right, so learning it's a process. Exams, quizzes, and tests are critical methods that you know kind of professors use to measure what and how much has been learned. So if we look at kind of the learning process, you know, you look at or the exam. Before the exam, you have the preparation of materials, you have the reviewing of information, the studying, the taking of notes, the going to class, meeting with the professor. During the exam, you're actually showing what you and how much you learned. So you have that test paper in front of you, your Scantron or whatever, and you are telling the professor exactly what you know, what you've learned from that class. After the exam, you kind of get your scores back. You learn kind of from the mistakes that you may have made, and you're learning from the professor. Um, Sometimes we take a test or an exam and we don't do well how we feel we should. We go meet with the professor and he gives us pointers of you know kind of what we can do moving forward. So that whole process will definitely you know if you are having issues will definitely assist you in kind of getting to the level you want to be at. I mentioned earlier that we kind of we're all different, so that we learn differently, we do things differently. So there are at least four kind of learning styles, and that's symbolized by VARK, VARK, which is visual. You learn by seeing things. Auditory, you kind of learn by hearing them. Um, Read or writing, you learn by kind of reading materials or you know writing things down. Or kinesthetic learners, which you're more of a hands-on. Me coming up, going through college, I know I was more of a kinesthetic. I needed to actually have a hands moving, you know, doing things. I had a lot of friends who were visual. They could sit there and watch the professor give notes and not take a note and do well. So you have to find out what style works best for you. Um, Reading and note taking for me, when I took notes, I would take notes in class, and then I would have to go when I was doing my study. I have to go back and basically kind of rewrite those notes. Just kind of the more I wrote them, rewrote, the more I said it, I heard it. Um, it helped me retain the information better. But again, like I said, I have friends who never put pen to paper and they could just listen to it or look at it and they would do well in courses. So find what works best for you. Uh, we're going to talk about some test preparation kind of study skills throughout this session that will help you um, do well, and also talk about kind of a life balance. You have to balance between you know your social and your academic life. So let's talk kind of about we talked about the learning of the process. Let's talk about some of the preparation of materials. We're looking at kind of a preparing versus a review. When we say preparation, we talk about just kind of your everyday going through classes, taking notes, just kind of your everyday normal activities. And when we talk about review, we talk about a little more of a specialized tactics to actually prepare for the exam, actually, you know, reviewing for the exam. So in preparation, you're actually keeping up with and collecting information. You're going to class, you're taking notes, you're meeting with talking to the professor if need be. You create study sheets. Some of the strategies that we try to facilitate with our students note cards or definitions, questions, formulas, any kind of problems that you may be working on, outline in your notes, different note-taking strategies, creating little self-tests, predicting some test questions you think that may be on your exam. That would, help you with getting ready for the exam. Preparing material for a study group. If you do well in study groups, working with a group of students in a particular course, preparing materials for that study group. If you have a course that has like essay questions, predicting essay questions. So all these things kind of fall under the preparation. But if you switch over to kind of the reviewing, you are specializing on just what's, getting ready for that exam, whether it's 4 chapters, 3 chapters, whatever it may be. Reciting out loud the answers to study sheets and note cards. It's been shown that, if you say them, you hear them, it helps to reinforce your knowledge. Taking a self-test. If you are in a study group and you guys create a test, take that test and see how well you do. Recite some of the main points from the course. You guys sit in the lecture and you realize, you know that everything that the professor says is not going to be on that exam. So, you want to kind of recite and review the main points. You want to recreate charts and lists from memory. So sit down and think about what you already know, what you have learned. And then that way you can compare it to the things that are going on in that course. And then you can work on what, maybe you have some issues with. Explaining the materials to a study group. We know that some people do really well working with study groups. So if you do well with working with study groups, that's one of your strengths. So make sure you use that in your reviewing for your exam. And answering those essay questions. Many times we know the essay questions, they have certain parameters and specifications that the professor wants. So make sure when you're reviewing for your exam, you're answering those essay questions, you're doing exactly what the professor is going to ask for.
Hey, Cedric.
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to read off some of the Q&A things that have come through. An anonymous individual is asking if the audio is cutting out for anyone else. If anyone else is having audio issues, please also post or reply to that. I'm hearing Cedric pretty clearly, but if it's an issue with the stream, we'll want to know about that. Someone named Mark has said, interesting, scored a 4, but typically a 4.0 student. And then they followed up by saying it could be the workload. He's only taken 2 classes.
Okay. Just for I am getting a little message that says bad network quality, so I don't know if it's on my end. If I am cutting out, I do apologize for that. All right, so some things that we can do kind of before the test or before the exam. Well, thank you guys for your questions and comments. One of the biggest things is, make sure you go to your classes. Of course, now it's a little bit different because, we moved to an online platform, but you see professors still having classes. So several years ago when I was an undergrad, that was one of the main things that, my advisor said is make sure you go to all your classes. So, go to class. You can, there are certain things that, that you're going to get by being in class that you won't get from, borrowing your friend's notes. So make sure you go to all classes. Take lecture notes, read the assignments. Even if the professor gives you the notes, take notes within the notes. The professors usually will say things that are not necessarily written down in their lecture notes that have already been prepared. So that's another way to, get a little extra tidbit. So take notes inside your notes. When the professor has office hours, if you're free or you're open, go and talk to them. Maybe you have some concerns or issues, if there's something that maybe you having a little trouble understanding. That's why they have those office hours. So make sure you take advantage of those as well. Also, as you know, the university, UTSI, we offer one-on-one tutoring, and we also offer supplemental instruction. So if you feel like you need some assistance at any time during the course of the semester, please don't hesitate to request a tutoring appointment, or if you work well in group sessions, go to SI sessions. Those students are there, they've been trained, and they're there to help you with any kind of academic, issues you may have. So definitely take advantage of them. And those services are free to you as students. And develop a study plan. Basically, you want to schedule a time to review for an exam for several days. My issue that I had as an undergraduate was procrastinating. I would sometimes wait till the last minute. We know that a lot of people do that, but that's just not the best practice. So develop a study plan. So give yourself several days so that you can get prepared for it, so that you're doing a little bit every day. And that way, when the time for the exams come, you'll be ready and you can do well on your exams. Schedule study sessions with classmates. It's sometimes good to get a kind of a different point of view with study materials. So talk to your classmates and schedule some times with some study sessions so you guys can get together and help each other out.
Hey Cedric,
Yes.
Heather has asked, what hours is SI available?
Okay, thank you very much, Heather. That's a great question. So all of our tutoring sessions and SI sessions are Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to around 9 p.m. We have with supplemental instruction, we focus on kind of the historically more difficult courses. So we do not have supplemental instruction for every course, but we do offer tutoring, one-on-one tutoring for every course. And our tutoring hours are Sunday through Saturday, 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. We use a system called Tutor Track where you're able to, basically log on and request a tutoring appointment to where, and usually when you request that appointment, you kind of tell what you need help with. And so our tutors are going to design a kind of a specialized tutoring program just for you. With supplemental instruction, if you have a supplemental instruction leader assigned to your course, you will know that because they've been to the class and they'll basically making announcements, and we'll be contacting you through Canvas, through your Remind 101 or your GroupMe about when the SI sessions are. SI sessions they're really kind of laid back sessions. They're time for you to go in and get assistance with some of the most difficult courses, difficult concepts of that course. The SI leaders and tutors, they've taken these courses before, made a B or better in the course, and the professor has recommended them. And with most of our SI leaders, the professor and SI leaders work hand in hand, to ensure the success of the students. That's a great question, Heather. Okay, so when it comes to kind of directing your studies, many of you've heard of Bloom's taxonomy, and basically Bloom's taxonomy is a kind of a hierarchy of levels that you kind of go through when it comes to preparing for different types of questions. It goes from a kind of a broad, very broad session to a kind of a really specialized. And so the 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy, you have knowledge, and that deals with kind of recalling data or information, kind of what you already know. The next level will be comprehension. That's dealing with understanding the meaning, kind of the translation and interpretation of instructions and problems, working out those problems. The third section level will be application, using a concept in a new situation, kind of applying applying that knowledge. The fourth level is analysis, and that's separating material concepts into parts so that its organizational structure can be understood. So the lower you go within Bloom's taxonomy, the more difficult or higher level that those questions are going to be. The synthesis, it builds a structure or pattern from diverse elements, and then you get to level 6, which is evaluation, which is making judgments about the value of ideas or materials. So when you get to that 6th level, these are your very higher order, higher level thinking questions. So these are the questions like the essay questions where you really have to think about, all 6 steps and be able to, really give detailed answers to those questions. So I mentioned earlier, one of the strategies would be to create a kind of a study plan. So I'm going to go over kind of a 5-day study plan for you, just as something that you may can use within your preparing for your exams. So you want to start about 5 days in advance. You want to begin kind of with the oldest or most difficult material, since it will be the least fresh in your mind. So let's say you have four chapters on your exam. You want to start kind of with chapter 1 because you've gone all the way up to chapter 4. Chapter 1 would happen a while back. So start with that. Break down the chapters and readings. If you have 5 days before exam, think about how much you want to do per day, and then kind of set you a plan out. And be sure to review everything that you have studied every day. So if you did chapter 1 yesterday, kind of do a brief, go back through chapter 1 really quickly before you move on to chapter 2. The day before your exam should be for review only, not for learning, new items, new materials. So that the last day of before your exam, you want to make sure that you're just kind of going back, checking to make sure you have everything in order and that you're ready for that exam. Any questions so far?
We have a comment that I think was from the previous slide, saying that they only take digital notes. It helps with the handwriting problem.
Ah, okay. Was it on this slide here? Oh.
It may have been this one here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if it works for you, then I don't want to tell you anything that you're not comfortable with. So definitely stick with what's in your comfort level. So if you're taking digital notes, very good. I don't want to say go through and type all those notes twice, but definitely review them, read over them a couple times, and that the more you read them, the more you hear them, it'll definitely reinforce the knowledge, what you're learning. Okay, so let's say, talking about our 5-day study plan, let's say you have a test on Monday. So you want to start on the Tuesday before that, right at the week before that. And, you want to prepare chapter 1, about, maybe 2 hours. Then, we start with the oldest material first. So then you're going to move to chapter 2. You're going to put in a couple hours of chapter 2, and also you're going to review very quickly what you learned or what you studied from chapter 1. Then moving on to chapter 3, then you still want to review chapters 2 and chapters 1. And then by Friday, you're looking at basically all 4 chapters. But you're not, you're spending an hour or so on chapter 4 because that's the most current information that you have. That's the most recent chapter that you've done done in class. And then you're reviewing chapters 1, 2, and 3 as well. Then maybe Saturday you take a day off from your exam prep. You may have other work that you need to do for some of your other classes as well. So remember that you don't want to neglect any other subject. So then on Sunday you're looking at chapters 1 through 4, really briefly, just kind of refreshing everything that you learned, and then also maybe give yourself a self-test. Take about an hour to kind of take a test. Where you've predicted those test questions, you've predicted those essay questions. So, give yourself kind of a self-test to kind of see where you feel you are. Definitely will, help you as you, get ready to take the exam on Monday. So when it comes to the services that university offers for you, you have, a lot of different services, resources that can help you. And it's never too late to start getting ready for your exam and being, successful academically. So if you think about it, you ask yourself, I need tutoring, kind of what's best for you. Here within within the University Tutorial and Supplemental Instruction Office, we offer on campus and also online e-tutoring, one-on-one appointments, and they're for all students in a wide variety of courses. When it comes to tutoring, we can get you a tutor for pretty much any course that's offered on campus. Our e-tutoring is done online, and it is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it is real time. It's synchronous. You log in and you will get someone that can help you no matter what time of day it is. Within our supplemental instruction program, I talked a little bit briefly about it earlier. It is basically a peer facilitated study group. So those of you that flourish and do well in group settings, supplemental instruction would definitely be a resource for you. We work hand in hand with kind of the Idea Center. They help with kind of transitioning to UTA campus. They also have on campus and online kind of mentoring and tutoring programs. Their tutoring program is kind of a drop-in tutoring. So you don't really need an appointment. You just kind of go and get tutoring help whenever you can. Our program, you have to create, you book an appointment and we prepare a program for you. Transfer, veterans, sophomores, and first generation students are definitely all students that the Idea Center they look to help. If you're not one of those students, then we have other resources for you. So always feel free to, if you want to contact us, contact Idea Center. We have definitely people that can help you. Another program on campus is that offers also mentoring and coaching is a TRIO Student Support Services. They have coaches, they have guidance, they have students that can help you. They help with transitioning to college. They have weekly one-on-one and small group kind of mentoring and tutoring sessions. They have academic and life skills workshops as well. So for the TRIO program, it is a federally funded program, government program. So there are some special specifications to be able to qualify it. So definitely check out the website, and it gives you kind of the specifications that are needed to be able to join become a TRIO student. And they provide guidance kind of throughout the year, and also if you're in their program throughout your whole time in college. So if you do need any help, if you notice here on the right side, Idea Center, TRIO, Student Support Services, University Tutorial and Supplemental Instruction, here are our websites as well as the phone numbers to our offices. Please don't hesitate to give us a call, get on the website. If you have questions about the website, give us a call, and we can definitely, if we can't help you directly, get you, to the person they're where you need to be. We are all under the kind of Division of Student Success. So if you look at the bottom there, the Division of Student Success, their website as well, it has basically links to all of our departments. So whatever you need academically, we have the help to give you. Does anyone need to if you want to take a screenshot of this, to take a picture of this, let me know. I don't want to go too fast. I want to, make sure that you have, access to everything that you need. All right. So when it comes time to take that exam, sometimes we develop kind of test anxieties, especially for, like myself, like I mentioned earlier, waiting to the last minute, it creates test anxiety. So some of the causes of test anxiety that we've experienced. It comes from poor study habits, inadequate preparation, not preparing yourself, giving yourself enough time to prepare for that exam, kind of worrying about how you're going to do on that test. But if you follow the necessary study habits in preparing for the test, then you should never have to worry about the performances, because you will know that you're prepared for that exam. Setting unrealistic goals. Let's say, for example, you haven't adequately prepared for the exam, and you say, yeah, I'm gonna make an A on the exam, or I'm gonna get every question on the test right. If you haven't prepared for yourself, that may be kind of an unrealistic goal. Pressure from other people. Sometimes our classmates, they put a little bit of undue stress on us when it comes to getting ready for tests or exams. Pressure to maintain a certain GPA or to get into a certain program. College programs, they're very competitive. You have a lot of students, a lot of people that are preparing for these, trying to get into these programs. So thinking about that, and doing your best, it causes anxiety. and limited knowledge about test taking strategies. Um, there's so many test taking strategies out there, and we definitely want to try to help you find out which strategy works best for you. That way, you can be the most successful when it comes to taking your exams and doing well in college. So moving kind of into the during, kind of taking the exam, showing what and how much you learned. So on test day, when you have to go, you have that test, that the Monday test exam has come up. Some tips, kind of to make your test day, your exam day go a little bit easier. Get a good night's rest, good night's sleep. Cramming and not sleeping is planning for failure. So if you follow that 5-day plan the night before, you reviewing very, very quickly those 4 chapters, taking your self test, and then get you a good night's rest. Set an alarm the night before to make sure that you don't oversleep. That could definitely cause issues if you oversleep and miss your exam. Eat a protein-rich breakfast, good breakfast that morning. Try to avoid a lot of high sugar foods or a lot of high sugar beverages. Don't drink more caffeine than you would on any other day. I have friends who, when I was in undergrad, they would get to take tests and they, drink several cups of coffee. Um, that's just gonna, cause you to crash later. So, don't change your normal routine. Drink your coffee or, your caffeine. That's gonna help you out. Practice some relaxation tips. Count to 10. Close your eyes, count to 10. Just things to help you relax, so that when you go to take your exam, you're not stressed out, you're not anxious. You just relax. You're prepared for that exam, and you're prepared to do well on it. Stay away from people who will create stress for you. You can hang out with, your friends and buddies later, but don't let people stress you out before, on the day of your test, you're taking your exam. And bring what you need for the test. If you need scantrons, you need blue books, pens, pencils, extra erasers. Make sure you have everything that you need, because if you open your backpack or you open your bag and you don't have what things you need, that's going to create some of those test anxieties. So being prepared. Put away your phone, and all your test prep materials when you get ready to take a test. You don't want any distractions, anything that's going to deter you from doing your best in your exam. Scan the test when the professor gives you a test. Kind of take a look at it. Look through it really quickly, just to see if there's anything that you think you may struggle with, just to kind of get an idea of what kind of information you need to give back on that exam. Manage your time. If you have an hour or hour and a half to take the exam, look at how many questions you have, and if it's an essay test, think about how much time you need to take on each question, so that you can definitely answer the question, give the correct material, and still be able to finish the exam in the allotted time. Read the section directions in each question carefully. Make sure if you're taking a multiple choice test, one suggestion is you read that question, read all the answer choices before you make a decision. That way, you're knowledgeable about what the question is asking for, and you're able to give the correct answer. Sometimes we'll get questions that require more than one answer. So read the question and all answer choices first. If you have a question about the test or about something going on with the exam, make sure you ask the professor. Don't just guess and say, oh, I think he means this or she means that. So make sure you ask questions. Watch out, like if you're taking a Scantron exam or test on a Scantron, if you have to skip a question, come back to it later, make sure you make note of that, so that you don't forget about it later, or if you do skip a question, that you don't accidentally put the wrong answer, the wrong question number, and then it throws kind of your whole Scantron off. So be careful with that as well. Take the time to develop a brief outline of points to make for an essay question. So if you have an essay test, kind of create you a small outline, so that way, as you are answering the essay question, you're able to get all the points down that you studied for, you're prepared for, you're ready for the essay question, so that you can put all the information down that you want to. If you have to absolutely have to miss an exam, as a result of illness or emergency, make sure you contact the professor on the same day, and be prepared with any kind of documentation. If you had to go, you got sick, you had to go to the doctor, make sure you get a note from that doctor saying, hey, Johnny was seen in my office, and that way the professor knows that you weren't just missing an exam, and you weren't ready, and then they'll give you opportunity to take that exam at a later date. So just be prepared. All right, before we move into the kind of the after the after you take the exam, are there any questions so far? All right, so after you take that exam, exam quizzes, they're critical. We talk about the things the professor uses to make sure that you are, retaining and learning the knowledge, the things that he's given you. So after you take that exam, let's talk about you want to make sure you learn from your mistakes, and you want to learn from the professor as well. So after that exam, they give you the test paper back. Review your exam. Look at what you did, the questions you missed if you missed any, and kind of review what did you know, what did you not know, what tripped you up. Um, Remember that college exams, they're often cumulative, so um, you take that exam, and it kind of builds on what you did before. So if you have trouble with you know topic A, then you may have trouble with topic B as well. So make sure you take a look at that and ask questions if you need to. Remember that it is not normal to fail any exam. Every grade is important, so always try to do your best. You take an exam, you don't, if you're disappointed with your performance, talk to the professor, kind of see what you need to do, maybe some strategies that they can help you with before so you can prepare for the next exam and do better the next time. So on campus, some other kind of resources that are available for you. Counseling services. They're located kind of in Ransom Hall, on the third floor, Ransom Hall, Suite 303. Also in the MAC room 212. They can help you with test anxiety, stress management, and also coping strategies, when things aren't going well. The Office of Students with Disabilities, located at University Hall, Suite 102. If you're seeking any kind of disability accommodations, you must register kind of in advance with their office. And usually, if you register with them, they can help you with any kind of accommodations that you may need. Remember that accommodations cannot be enacted retroactively. You have to be registered in advance. And they'll provide you with a letter, for faculty of any kind of approved accommodations that you may need. So definitely, if you need some assistance from the Office of Students with Disabilities, please contact them and get registered with them. Academic advisors, they're located on the first floor, Ransom Hall, and they will be able to discuss, kind of time management strategies or test performance. They're helpful, kind of when making decisions about your overall performance in a course. Remember, you have to, speak with your academic advisors before you, usually drop a class or make any kind of changes to your majors. Definitely go see them and get some help. In addition, you can refer to your Division of Student Success website, which was on the other slide with the other information. It is www.uta.edu/student success. And again, that website will have links to all of our services that we offer through the Division of Student Success. Anything you may need academically, any kind of resource that we have, it's yours. So please contact us to get any kind of help anytime you may need. I hope that some of the information that we've presented to you today is helpful for you. If you do develop questions, you have all of our contact information. Is there anyone that has any questions as far as right now pertaining to anything they've seen within this training session today?
There's nothing posted yet. We'll give it a few minutes to, leave the door open for any questions people do have. Give them a chance to type them up and post them. But yeah, I think you did a great job there, Cedric.
All right. So our chat function is still going to be open if you do develop any questions. I do want to thank you so very much for coming to the training session on exam preparation. It definitely shows that you are invested in your academic success and you want to do, whatever you can to help, reach that level you want to reach. So again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The resources are available for you. We are here for you. Anytime you need any kind of help, any kind of assistance, don't hesitate to contact us. And we'll be more than happy to help you with your academic issue or get you to the right department that can. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and end the presentation. Feel free to reach out if you have any further questions.